Water. Earth. Fire. Air.
So, in 2009, I went to the movies, could not remember what movie I saw, but the trailer before that movie hooked me. It was a teaser for a movie that was coming out a year later. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Never seen an episode of the cartoon at all. Not because I thought something was wrong with the series or anything, but it was just because I never knew where to jump in to start it from the beginning. Not just gonna, no, you had to start it from episode 1 on up. So with that being said, after I left the theater, because I was hooked, that teaser was awesome. Ran to the store, bought book 1. Saw just a couple of episodes, went back to the store, bought book 2 and 3. Finished book 1, went straight into 2, did the same thing, then went straight into 3. Passed it around to buddies, friends, everybody, co-workers, you name it. Everybody was watching this series. And then those that I didn't pass it to, they were already seeing it. We were just talking about it. We were going back and forth. This was that kind of animation show. This series is not just one of the best animated series, but arguably one of the best TV series of all time. Not lying, no joke. Not just saying it because it is literally out there. It is literally one of the best series ever created. Loved it. Was so stoked to see what was gonna come out in 2010 because that teaser is what brought me into watching that series. And yet, I wanted to be hesitant because it was M. Night Shyamalan, but I saw all these different behind the scenes and making ofs and Q&As with him and reporters about how much he loved the series too. He got into it because of his daughter and because of she was watching it, he checked it out, and then he was like, hey, this is a great show. This would look good as a movie.
I can't wait. We've been watching the first 2 over and over and over at our house here, and strangers come in and they're like, what's that? We're like, no, it's nothing, don't look at that. And every time we get a free time, we put it in. It's just so exciting. So we're just dying. We're completely devoted to the show.
They just don't get you.
They've never got me, and it's getting worse. They're like, it's almost like, go away.
I wished he was watching another show. What he did was not no justice. We had this huge group go see this movie, and when we left, you would have swore we just saw someone get killed.
Bro, what did you do?
It was an accident. I was Katara. I'm so.
You hear me? That movie was so bad, nobody had anything to say about it. I don't know if they thought they were going to offend me, but they liked the show just as much as whatever. Nobody wanted to say anything about that series. He did us wrong. In 2018, Netflix announced that, hey, we're going to bring out a live action version series of Avatar: The Last Airbender with the creators. Yes, finally, after all this time, fans of the show was going to get what they needed, what they deserved, and probably then some. You did not even think of Avatar: The Last Airbender, what he did. Correction, he didn't even get the title right, because at that time, Avatar by James Cameron was out, so he didn't have the copyrights, I guess, or it was a bidding war, however that was. So his version of it was only called The Last Airbender. Good. Because what we got wasn't Avatar: The Last Airbender, so call it whatever you want. We wash our way with that. Everybody been stoked for over 2 years now, or pretty much 2 years, I guess you can say, for that version. And to have the actual creators on it, they were going to do it right. In May of this year, they released Avatar: The Last Airbender, the animated series, and in August, The Legend of Korra, which is a spinoff to the series. And that too hit Netflix. In between that time, just I guess around the time Legend of Korra was being released on Netflix, the creators Michael Dante DiMartino and Brian Konietzko wrote on their social media accounts that they have departed from doing the upcoming live action version with Netflix due to creative issues. How do you have creative issues with somebody who created something that you were just going to be the distributor? Yes, you might have had some part of input, but how do you have creative issues with someone who created something from scratch? That's their thing. It is their baby. How?
Why does he ask you how? Why does he ask you how?
Netflix needs to get on the phone right now and talk to these gentlemen and give them what money that they deserve for this show and the production value for this show, because this can't be some little cheap little whatever, and let them do what they do best and make a good quality show. If history shows that these gentlemen put out a show that is by far one of the best in just series of all, one of it, animated or live action, whatever, it is in the books. They did that. Netflix put out Death Note. That was a great anime series, but what is on there as a live action? What Netflix did with Death Note is what M. Night did with The Last Airbender. Netflix, I need you to have several seats. Let them do what they do, and you just put out the rights. There are so many ideas of what I think they should do with the series, but ultimately, I mean, like, you can't leave out any of the episodes, by far. You can't leave out any of the storylines. You can't leave out any of the crew, the supporting cast, anything. They knew what they were doing, and they know how to do it. The one thing that I can give that is a pointer is, as much as I like to binge watch a show, this is one show that on Netflix, actually, that could be a weekly show because of it. This could be Netflix's Game of Thrones in regards of the amount of just awesomeness behind it.
You've got something I want.
I don't even know where to go with it. The way that the graphics could be, the way that the acting could be, the way that the live action version would be, to bring in this element of culturalism and everything that they know what they were doing when they did this series, and do it in a live action form would do that show so much justice that they will not leave out any elements. It may even put in more that they now think about what they wish they could have added or thought of. I don't know. But Netflix, you can't do this. You better not do this without them. You need to call them right now. It is 2020. Too many things have happened this year that we wish that we can just erase or skip and go to 2021. And the last thing we need to hear is this. I need you to put out the money that we know that you got and need to go ahead and have several seats and let them hire and do what they need to do to get this done right. Who knows when the show was actually going to get made due to the pandemic and slowing a lot of things down. But the last thing we need is people who ain't got no ties to something to come forth and have creative differences in regards to something that you know that this would not even exist without them. Had there not been a part of this, there would be no Avatar: The Last Airbender to make a live action version. So I'ma need you to have several seats. Give them what they need so we can get the entertainment that we deserve. Just saying.